Hey, so Othania here with Create Your Future. So today I want to get into how to get into contact, and once you're in contact, how to maintain consistent contact forever. So I'm gonna get right into it. Um, so let's say you're in no contact at all with your person, and it doesn't really matter how long it's been. What really matters is what you're thinking still towards them, because that is going to tell you how fast things are going to switch up for you. So, say you're like in contact, whether it's been 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 10 years, whether how long it's been, and you want to get into contact, now is the time to start getting into the thought system of you already being in communication with them, loving it in a lovingly way, right? See, the reason why you're not it's not most likely the reason why you're not in communication with your person, because there's still, whatever you want to call it, an old story that you're holding on to. You're just still holding on to more opposing thoughts towards the communication, as opposed to the good and loving thoughts you should be having towards the communication, right? So if you're still waking up and noticing that the communication hasn't come yet, and it's still bothering you and putting you in an emotional state that doesn't feel good to you, then you're still dominantly thinking, or most likely ruminating on what went wrong, or you're still noticing the lack of communication and noticing the time. And that is what you don't want to do, because when you are already in communication and things are feeling better, you're not going to be thinking about that. You're just going to be thinking about, or what you should be thinking about is the good things that you want to come into fruition with this person. Um, Another thing, You're in a conversations between a space of you physically, actually, verbally communicating with someone. Your inner conversations in that space are like a preview of what's to come in the actual conversations, because that is what you're creating, is what you're manifesting, it's what is going to be reflected back to you. So say like you're thinking about your person, and you want communication with them, like you want to get back into a loving connection with them again, but you're still thinking about and ruminating on what went wrong. You're still thinking about the mean things that they said to you. You're still thinking about how they told you they don't want to talk to you ever again, and they want to choose someone else. The main thing that you have to remember and really get a grasp on is that the past is done. And if you keep ruminating on what went wrong, you're constantly putting that in each moment, which is telling your subconscious this is still what you want. So you have to snap yourself out of it, feel your feelings, but you don't want to feel them too long. So they're constantly taking over you and keeping you in a state where you feel like it can't happen for yourself, because you have to snap out of that helpless state and a helpless way of thinking about things, because that state is what caused you not having the communication in the first place, right? So we want to be aware of that and understand that this is the state we don't want to be in. We want to be in a state where we're actually communicating with our person, and in that state you are the version that is not having those thoughts and ruminating on what went wrong, because that is what is, and for you to understand things better, that is what is blocking the communication. Because if you're in your mind constantly ruminating on what went wrong, your subconscious doesn't have a filter to say, okay, this person is thinking about something in the past, so let's not push this out for them. Your subconscious doesn't have a past, present, or future meter. It just has it just takes what you're thinking. So if you're thinking about something from the past to now, it's taking that information as this is what you want to continue to experience into your reality. So that's why we say you don't want to continue to keep ruminating on what went wrong and ruminating on how they hurt you, because you're taking that into every now moment, which is creating your tomorrows, which is why your tomorrows are still not what you want them to be yet. Right? So the point is to start finding ways to get acquainted with the version of you that has happier thoughts about this person. And what can help you is thinking about a joke that this person has told you before that made you laugh. Right? You want to start getting familiar with the feel good thoughts, because the feel good thoughts put you in the state of the feel good things. You understand? So that is what you just want to do. And that is how you start pulling in that communication. Your inner conversations are creating your actual conversations. Everything comes from the within, everything starts from the mind. So whether it's a lover, a friend, a family member, you have to find a way to get into a more loving field with them in your mind, in a more loving mental state with that person. And then you'll start creating more loving circumstances. Um, I've had so many times in my experiences where I've been blocked, and I've noticed the energy that I don't want to say energy, but like I always say, energy, thoughts, frequency, whatever the word you want to use, it all means the same thing. And it's all stemming from the definition of like, it's all coming from your thoughts, period. It's all coming from your thoughts. So you just want to choose the best ones. You want to think more lovingly towards your person, because if you're thinking more lovingly towards your person, then that means you're having better inner conversations with them. And if you're having better inner conversations with them, these conversations have to play out into reality. So if you want to be a person that holds on to the past, you can do that. But how is that working for you? How is that working for you? Right? It's not working for you because your past is what you're trying to change. Right? And you can only do that by like letting it go. Like if I have a red jacket on, right? And it's like I want to put another jacket on, I have to take that one off. Like I have to let it go off of me and I have to put another jacket on, right? So you got to get rid of the past, take that off of you and put the new jacket on, which is the better thoughts. And that's what you want to stick with. Your inner conversations are always creating your physical, verbal, actual conversations in 3D reality. So the communication most likely is not coming in because you are most likely still harboring on the past. Um, you think this person does not want to talk to you, and that goes back to free willing in reality. Um, and that goes back to understanding that people take actions based on your assumptions. So if you're thinking that someone does not want to talk to you in your world, they will not talk to you. Um, and you're probably either also you're having a low self-concept mixed in with that as well. And a few other things, but it's just mainly you're thinking against generally the actual communication that you want. There's a fear there that you have to get out of, get rid of, change, and shift. And you have to get into a more loving, good thinking with you and this person, So that can manifest, because if you're only in fear and you're thinking about how this person doesn't want to talk to you, want to be around you, doesn't want to communicate with you, and you're feeling like it's hard to get in communication with them, your subconscious is taking that all in as this is what this person wants to create. So let's keep pushing this out. And that is just what's happening. That is just what's happening. Like I said, you shift that by getting into good, loving thoughts about this person, and you stay there. You don't want to get into good, loving thoughts and be like, you know what, let me think about a joke or two with them, and then let me go check if they're following me now. No, you have to get into a genuine, loving energy, a loving space, let me say. You want to get into a genuine, loving mental space in your mind with them. What do you want to experience with them? You want to experience them always calling you? Then say that. You want to experience um, them always reaching out to you? Then say that. And you say that by, you say to yourself, right, you know, my person loves reaching out to me. My person loves calling me. My person loves talking to me, because why wouldn't your person love doing that? Why would you want to think against your love in your life? You know? That's what you want to stop doing. And that is exactly what is either putting you in a cycle of communication, no communication, or it's just putting you in a cycle where people constantly just ghost you and block you. You have to have, mostly, of course, have loving thoughts about yourself, and you have to know, trust, and believe that this person also wants to communicate with you as well. You have to work through that. If you're constantly feeling bad that this person does not want to speak with you, you have to work through that. That is what you have to work through. That is what you have to shift, change. Um, because your 3D is showing you what's going on within. If someone is ignoring you and not communicating with you, then you are most likely having thoughts that are not in a correlation with your desired reality. And that is what you have to align and fix and shift to. And once you do that, you'll find yourself in a more calm, natural state. Once you're in a calm, more natural state, and you keep that up and you notice that, communication should be right around the corner, because that is the state that you're in when you're in constant communication with this person. There's no anxiety to have about it. You feel calm. It's normal. Imagine, okay, like say if you had a crush that you're going back and forth with, they talk to you, ghost you, talk to you, ghost you, and then you work through everything, and then it's 5 years later, and you have like 2 kids, and you see this person every day, and it's like life is normal. It's normal. There's no anxiety, because you talk to this person every day, you live with them, you love them, and that's what you want to match. You want to match that mind frame, and you want to match those feelings, and that is the state, and that is the state where the communication comes in effortlessly, and I can say that with a guarantee. So, if you're interested in coaching with me, there's a link for that in this description box below. And Create Your Future does have a free course. And if you're interested in that, there's a link for that in the description box below. And I intend that you get all the communication that you want from your person, and that you finally figured it all out, and you finally figured out how this goes. And now you get to just enjoy all the communication that you want. So remember, get into a loving mental space, which will put you in a state of a more loving version of yourself, which is the version that has the communication with your person. Because there's no anxiety, because with anxiety, you're always in communication, right? Remember? So I intend that this has helped you, and happy holidays. And until next time, guys, see ya.